All right, let's move to the quarterbacks. Jason, you teased this, so we can start here with you. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of attention on Joe Flacco, who's expected to take 25 to 30 snaps. There will be attention on Shedeur Sanders, Dylan Gabriel as they play in the second half. Forget the quarterbacks. What are you most looking forward to tomorrow?
The defense. It's something we talked about in the YouTube show. The Browns have built a defensive line unlike we've seen from them. A lot of times in the past with Miles, they've surrounded him with some patchwork veterans sort of toward the end of their career. Not anymore. You know, Mason Graham, 5th overall pick. Michael Hall, 2nd round pick last year. Isaiah McGuire and Alex Wright have both flashed on the other side at various points. So I'm curious to see. I don't necessarily expect to see Miles play tomorrow, but I want to see what the rest of this defensive line looks like. I believe it could be the strength of this team. The defense in general is ahead of the offense, and I think the defensive line could be, as a unit, the most important part of this team, really, in terms of generating pressure, taking some pressure off a secondary that now is without Martin Emerson. Can you get home to the quarterback and make the job easier on Greg Newsome and Cam Mitchell and some of those guys in the secondary? So I just want to see the defense. I think they're good enough to keep them in games this year, to keep the Browns competitive. I don't think they're going to win a lot of games, but I think this defensive unit is good enough to at least make the games interesting.
I think what's going to be telling is some of the spots where I'm curious, like who's the third receiver?
Yeah.
And I want to see who starts out. When the Browns are in a 3-receiver set with Joe Flacco for the first time, we know it's going to be Jerry Jeudy, and we know it's going to be Cedric Tillman. Well, who's the third receiver out there? I'm curious about that. I'm curious how much, at least in this game, Harold Fannin is part of the first-team offense.
Yeah, I can't wait to see
Because I know
him.
Zach Jackson thinks he's going to be a big part of the offense, and I'm fascinated to see it. I'm also interested to see Dylan Sampson.
Yeah.
Like, is the first-team offense mostly just Jerome Ford, or is Dylan Sampson an equal partner with him? And do they use anybody else, or is it just, they're going to go out and get somebody else? So there's a couple of young guys on the offensive side that have opportunities at tight end, wide receiver, and running back where the Browns don't have a lot of proven talent for guys to based on how much they play, not necessarily make a name for themselves in this game, but let us know, hey, these guys might be a big part of the offense because they're playing here with Joe Flacco and the first team.
Yeah, I've got a very specific thing I'm looking for. I want 12 drives, all to end at the 35-yard line.
I know where this is going.
I want to see the kickers.
Yeah.
I want to see Andrew Schmidt. Is that how he says it? It
is Schmidt, correct.
Schmidt.
Correct.
I think a lot of people thought, well, this is a foregone conclusion. It's Dustin Hopkins' job. They gave him the 3-year.
I'm not
and the
sure.
guarantee. I'm not sure either, Jason. I haven't been overwhelmed by what I've seen from him this preseason. I think Schmidt has done a good job in what we've seen from him. I want to see 6 kicks from Schmidt and 6 kicks from Hopkins, all from 52 yards. And let's settle this thing in the preseason so we don't have to go 3 weeks into the regular season and lose a game 19-17 on a last-second field goal from a kicker that can't handle the pressure. So that's what I'm looking for.
I said at the time when the Browns signed Dustin Hopkins, I didn't like it, even though he was coming off a good season.
There's no need.
There was
I don't
no
know,
need
they
to.
overpaid.
There's no need. There's like 3 or 4 kickers maybe in the league. I don't even know if there's that many now that you'd pay to. He was not one of them. He'd been inconsistent his whole career before the good year he had.
In fairness, he had a great year.
I know that, but he'd been inconsistent before
agree.
that, so I wouldn't take a chance.
Yep.
He wasn't inconsistent. He was bad last year.
Yeah.
I should have been released.
Yeah. The one thing I'll say about the Browns is they're not afraid to cut a guy, even if it costs them a little money. So.
Well, if you remember, Cade York lost the job with another lousy final preseason game.
Yes, he did.
Missed
That's
that
true.
extra
That was
point.
the final straw.
Yeah.
So
and they moved on from
it. Would be, even though it'd be fun for fans to watch us go on all touchdown drives.
Yeah.
I want to see field goals. I want to see a lot of them, and I want to see them long.
Yeah.
So we can
the
figure
Browns
out which guy.
If the Browns are going to win a few more games than we expect, there's no margin for error. They got to make their kicks.
You're absolutely right.
They're not winning by with a million touchdowns. They're going to have to win close, tight games.
You're right.
And if your kicker's missing those key field goals, you're going to lose those close ones.
Yes. Let's figure that out tomorrow.